Hi, now this time we will look into some of the important settings in Quartus Prime software that you can use to optimize your design. We will talk about VHDL compiler version. We will talk about compiler optimization modes. We will see some of the synthesis advanced settings and filter advanced settings as well. Okay, so let's move to the Quartus Prime software. Okay, so now let me quickly tell you about some of the important settings in the Quartus Prime software. And you can configure these settings for each individual project based on your needs. Alright. So for these basic settings, we will go to this device selection where we have designed our project. So we'll select this device and right click. And here you will see this settings option. So click on it. So let's adjust the size of this window so you can see everything in one view. So now in the left panel, you can see different category to select it. And in the right hand side, you will see the configurations for that category. Okay. So for example, the first category is general. And from here, you can select your top level entity. So for example, in this project, we have used two entities or two modules. One is for PLL and second is for your finite state machine or IP test, right? So at present, we have selected this IP test. So that is our top level module. And if you wanted to change this, then we can click on these three dots and you can select whatever the top level module you wanted to choose. Okay. And this is really helpful when you are working on some bigger project and that have a lot of modules and component instantiations. All right. So let's select the IP test for now and click on OK. Now the next category is files. So if you wanted to add any existing file into this project, then you can browse that file and you can simply add that into this project. So for this, you can click on these three dots. Now you can locate your file or you can locate your module. Simply select it and then click on open. Okay. And after that, that module will be added into this project. So that is one way to add any existing file into your project. But you can also do this by going to this project navigator window and select this files tab. Now you can go to this files, right click, and you can select this add and remove files in project. And this will open the same window as well. The next one you can select from this EDA tool settings. So from here, you can tell your Quartus Prime that what tool you wanted to use for simulation. So you can see that it is having a couple of options. So you can use ActiveSDL, you can use Quista Simulator or any other tools, right? So that's give you a good options for your simulations. Now the next important setting or next important category is compiler settings. So here you can see this optimization mode and that is currently selected to balanced. So from these settings, you can choose the aggression level of your compiler. Like if you wanted to focus on the performance or you wanted to focus on the power consumptions or you wanted to focus on the compactness of your FPGA or the compactness of your design, right? So please remember that there are a trade-off of selecting these options. And these trade-offs can be of three different types on FPGA. So one trade-off can be in your power consumption levels, second trade-off in your compactness of your design into the FPGA, and the third trade-off can be into the timing analysis or the timing performances. So you need to wisely select the right options for your project needs. And by default, that is selected to balanced. So this will balance out your designs on these three different factors. All right. So you can go through them one by one. And if you wanted to try, then you can change these optimization modes as well. Okay. Although the differences can be seen in some really big projects. So you can design them and test them. Now, if you go a little down, then you will see these two different settings. These are advanced settings for synthesis and this is advanced settings for filters. So if you open this advanced settings for synthesis, you will see a lot of configurations inside this. So you can see this is really a big list of Quartus configurations for the synthesis operations. All right. And as I said, that Quartus is really good in the documentation and the explanation. So you can select each configuration and you can see the description inside this bottom box. Okay, you can select any configuration and you can read the details about that settings. Okay, and accordingly, you can change your settings for your projects. Okay, for example, if you go down, then we have this setting for the state machine. Because we have used the state machine in our project, so we can review this. So you can select this state machine. So you can select this save state machine off or on. Also, you have state machine processing settings as well. So by default, that is selected to auto. And if you wanted to change the state machine processing type, then you can see a couple of options to choose from, right? So if you wanted to gray or Johnson or minimal bits, then you can select the processing time based on your needs. Now remember that these settings are global for this project. So if you're using multiple finite state machines in this project, and if you select this gray or Johnson or minimal bits, then that configuration will be applied for all the finite state machines you are using in this project, right? So please make sure that these are global settings. Now quickly look at the fitter settings. So you can see that the list of this fitter advanced settings is also quite long. So you can go through them and you can read the descriptions about all of these settings. So I recommend you to spend some time to understand these advanced fitter settings and advanced synthesis settings. Okay. So for example, we have this weak pull-up registers here. So you can configure them if you really wanted to use them externally in your hardware. So same way, there are a lot of settings you can tweak to optimizing your projects or to optimizing your designs. Okay. So let's cancel this for now. Now, if you select this VHDL input, then you will see these three options. So 1987 is the oldest one and 1993 is by default selected. But what I recommend you to select this VHDL 2008, and this will allow you to offer some advanced feature that was introduced in 2008 version. So these are a couple of important settings that you can use to configure or to optimize your VHDL designs in the Quartus Prime software. Also, you can go through these different categories as well. So these are for timing analyzer, assembler, design assistant, power analyzer settings, logic analyzer interface, etc. So please spend some time to understand these settings for designing a better project. And if you have any query, then you can post it in our community. Okay, so that was a short video. Although we have seen some of the basic settings as well, but they are quite useful in day-to-day projects. And with that, we are closing this chapter and ending this course here. You can share your feedback with us. We will be very happy to read them. If anything you want us to cover, then do let us know from the comment section. We will try to include that in our next course. So till then, learn new things and upgrade yourself. Happy learning.